This is Artemis, NASA's new megarocket that will take humans back to the moon for the first time in 50 years and take us further into space than we've ever been. For this journey, NASA needs its most powerful and advanced spacecraft ever, a super heavy lift rocket known as the Space Launch System, and an advanced crew vehicle called Orion. Together, they'll lift huge payloads and take humans on long-term missions into deep space. This spacecraft will travel 1,000 times farther than the International Space Station on its very first flight. It's the foundation for building a base on the moon, and one day, it's set to launch to Mars. Right now, NASA is focused on the first 3 Artemis flights. Artemis 1 is set to launch in 2022. This first flight will orbit around the moon without astronauts. It's a sort of test flight designed to collect data on the capabilities of the Space Launch System, the Orion spacecraft, and all the exploration ground systems that support flight. On Artemis 2, NASA will send crew up for the first time for a flyby of the far side of the moon. It's the first time humans will have been that far into space since the Apollo program ended. That flight is set to launch no earlier than 2024. By Artemis 3, a third rocket will take humanity back for a moon landing, no sooner than 2025, sending the first woman and the first person of colour to touch down on the moon's south pole and press their footprints into the lunar surface. At Michoud, NASA contractor Boeing is making the core stage of the Space Launch System, or SLS. It's also where Lockheed Martin is building the Orion pressure vessel, the main structure that holds the pressurized atmosphere for the astronauts to survive in space. Since the early 70s, NASA has only sent humans to low Earth orbit, a couple of hundred miles above Earth. Now, it needs to protect astronauts on longer missions into deeper space. For that, NASA has partnered with Lockheed Martin to build a new kind of spacecraft, Orion. With Orion, the stakes are critical.
When you build a spacecraft, you can't make mistakes. You're going to an environment that no one and nothing ever sees. It's a harsh environment, but that's why they're astronauts and we aren't.
The Orion crew vehicle is made up of a number of sections. At the base is the European Service Module, built by the good folks at the European Space Agency. This will guide Orion through space and around the moon, long after the SLS is out of the picture. It also contains enough food and water for a 3-week mission. Above the service module is the crew module. That's the pressurized capsule that Lockheed is building. It's a third larger than the Apollo command module, and its computing systems are 4,000 times faster. It has 4 crew seats, a compact exercise machine, and a toilet with its own door. This capsule doesn't just have to keep the astronauts alive in space, it's got to protect them when they come back to Earth too. During re-entry, Orion will travel at almost 25,000 miles an hour, so it's going to get hot.